Good morning, everyone. I'm here to record my second career profile for the semester. And the one that I chose this time, I picked because I have a little bit of a personal investment in it. It's called a transition specialist for the State Department of Education. And the reason I picked this is it's basically exactly what it sounds like. It's to help kids transition from being a high school student to being a responsible, high functioning adult. And I'm in the Young Women's Program in my ward, and I have a young woman who is special needs, and she just graduated from high school, and she's participating in kind of a transition program, and I've been able to see firsthand how it's really benefited her. So one of her best friends is also special needs, and he is not participating in an adult transition program, and I can see how he's struggling more than she is, especially in terms of trying to find a job. And so I saw this and really thought that it was something I could really love because I've witnessed firsthand how beneficial something like this could be. So basically what this position is, it's helping high school kids become good adults. And I think that a bachelor's degree in marriage and family, especially being certified in family life education, could be so beneficial in this because you can't build good families or communities until you build good individuals. So basically what this job is I would have a main office at the County Office of Education, but then I would be required to travel to all different kinds of school sites. Now, this could include junior highs also because you're trying to prepare them for high school, which in turn prepares them for college. So I could be traveling from junior highs to high schools, even to community colleges, career centers, all sorts of places, depending on the needs of the student that I was working with. So my job would be to go in and maybe identify at-risk students or high-risk students, special needs students, or just regular students that maybe have requested help and help them identify things that they're going to need to prepare for life beyond high school. This could include life skills, career opportunities, college applications, and how to actually get into a college or how to interview for a job. The requirements for this, honestly, I was a little confused and surprised. It said that you could have a bachelor's degree in any related field, so I think that marriage and family would work for this. But it also said that it would accept 96 credit hours from an accredited college. So 96 credits is so close to being done anyway. I'm not really sure why they came up with that number or why that's all that would be required. And it made me wonder if maybe at 96 credits, if they could see you'd be finishing and they would hire you at that point with you expressing the intent to finish. So I'm not really sure what that means, and they didn't expand on that or clarify. So, but anyway, a bachelor's degree or 96 credits from an accredited college. And they also would prefer some experience, especially serving with youth that are at risk, high risk, or special needs. So the salary range for this it's okay. It's not too bad. It's $20.84 an hour all the way up to $30.80 an hour. Or if you have really good experience, you can be evaluated for being put on a salary basis, but you would start hourly and then kind of work your way up to that potential. Some of the common job tasks, I'd be meeting with students. We'd be coming up with a plan to make sure that we optimize their transition into adult life. This could also mean that I would need to be inside their classrooms, observing maybe some of the interactions and needs that they display, and also observing their educators, their teachers, and maybe thinking about lesson plans that they could come up with to make sure that these kids were well prepared for adult life. So it might mean going into a class, maybe like a home ec class, and saying, hey, I can see that this student really needs to learn some cooking skills. I could also go into maybe a health class and determine this kid's really unprepared to be a parent or a spouse. This child does not know how to communicate within their family, and maybe meet with that teacher and come up with a team that would be willing to teach some of these life skill classes. And so that's why I think being a certified family life educator would be so beneficial to something like this. Being able to go in and say, these are the areas that this youth is really unprepared for being a well-functioning adult in any kind of relationship or setting. And then it would be my job to make those plans with either the educators, the family, the students, and we'd implement these plans and we'd get them going on it. This also might mean that I need to meet with colleges. If this child is really unprepared to attend college or doesn't know what it takes to get into college or doesn't know how to do a job interview, I would make sure that I was aware of the resources that were available for this student and make sure that I collaborate with either community resources or potential employers or colleges and help these students be more prepared for entering either the workforce or a college learning environment. I would also be in charge of making sure that I track their transcripts and make sure that they're on track for even completing high school. The working environment, like I said, traveling to a lot of different campuses, but I would have a main office and the Office of Education. Some of the educational requirements that I already mentioned, were a bachelor's degree or 96 credit hours. Some of the typical stressors, I could see how maybe traveling to a lot of different places to address a lot of different needs could be really stressful on your time and your vehicle. I don't think that you'd have to work many odd hours, mostly because you're meeting with students that are in school. You may need to meet with some parents and families after hours, maybe even some employers. But I think this would be a typical Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 job, and they said that it was full-time. They said 215 days a year, so I'm guessing that includes, maybe some summer hours that you wouldn't have to be working as much because kids aren't in school, and some holidays. You could work up some sick leave and some vacation time. Some other benefits of this job, you had medical, dental, and vision for you and your dependents. And then you had a pension program for retirement. And like I said, you could accrue sick days and vacation days, but probably not a lot up front. You would have to work for a while to be able to earn those. Some typical stressors that I also thought about, I could see how this might be overwhelming if you were meeting with so many different kids that had so many different needs. It's not like there's a one-size-fits-all format where you sit down with these kids and say, okay, let's plug your needs into this plan. Now, every plan would be so different, and you wouldn't have a nice format to just go by. You might have a good format for a needs assessment, but as for implementing a plan, you might have one kid that needs a life skills class. You might have another one that needs to meet with employers and practice interviewing. You might have another one that needs to attend a college prep course. And so I could see how it would be really frustrating to make sure that you were keeping track of everyone's needs. Another thing I thought about is typically, in my observation and experience, any kid that's maybe at risk or high risk for special needs, a lot of these kids aren't wanting to be at school in the first place. And so having to meet with them and come up with a plan and then implement it, you might just be met with a lot of opposition in students that are even willing to try and implement the plan that you've come up with. And a lot of these kids don't have a lot of support at home, and so working with families could be really difficult. Just some miscellaneous information. You'd need to be well versed in a lot of college resources, community resources. You need to be very keen on recognizing where they might be lacking in basic life skills. There might be some that are preparing to be parents by the end of high school. That's actually not atypical, especially in the area that I live in California. We have a lot of teen parents, and so you might be needing to go in and help these high school seniors transition into being good parents and providing for a family. So anyway, that's my career profile. I hope that it kind of just gave a basis for some of the things that are required for helping kids become good, well-adjusted adults, which I think this world could use a lot more of. And so anyway, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you later.